God damn it. What the hell is that thing?
Holy shit! Oh, Jesus Christ, that made me jump. Oh, poor little rat. So, anyway, back in 2014, I played through the whole of The Evil Within, and although there were sections in there that I really enjoyed, a lot of the game aggravated the hell out of me, mainly due to its archaic control scheme and frequent immersion-breaking bugs. At this year's Gamescom, though, I was able to spend an hour with the second and third chapters of The Evil Within 2, and I was pleasantly surprised by how much I enjoyed it. Although, perhaps enjoyed is the wrong word, considering I spent a good portion of my time trying not to scream out loud in a room full of strangers. Maybe, like me, you were thinking about avoiding this one, or maybe you're a huge fan of the first who can't wait for more. Either way, here's 6 reasons why you should be looking forward to The Evil Within 2, even if you hated the first game. The Evil Within was a bit of a mindfuck in more ways than one. Obviously, a psychological horror game like this one was fundamentally designed to bash your brains in. Create enough confusion in the player, and the fear of the unknown will only add to the terror factor. However, things also got very confusing story-wise, and unless you played through the full game and the accompanying DLC chapters, trying to understand the events of The Evil Within probably made your head feel a little bit like this.
Sebastian, for 3 years since Beacon happened, you've been searching for answers.
Thankfully, you won't need any prior knowledge of the first game to play The Evil Within 2, but if you have played it, this sequel will help you answer some of the questions you may have had about series protagonist Sebastian Castellanos.
You trained and trusted me, and in return, I betrayed you.
In The Evil Within 2, Sebastian returns to the STEM world, an alternate nightmare world that in the previous game he was trying to escape.
This is your chance to save her.
This time, instead of being thrust into the STEM world against his will, Sebastian enters it voluntarily and with one clear motive: to find and rescue his daughter Lily, who, in the last game, had been presumed dead. There's one problem though: this STEM world is completely different to the one in the first game. It's called Union, it's crammed full of pant-ruining horrors, and to top it all off, it's controlled by Lily's rapidly deteriorating mind. What could possibly go wrong? Oh, yeah, that. Now, where did I put my emergency underwear?
I gotta get out of here.
The Evil Within was janky as hell and plagued by bugs and frame rate issues. Thankfully, these problems were non-existent in my playthrough of the Gamescom demo. Performance-wise and graphics-wise, everything seems to be much more stable than before. I can't be sure if a new game engine is being used here. I did ask Bethesda for confirmation, but they never got back to me. But there is a definite improvement over the original game, so I'd hazard a guess that there's something more powerful than id Tech 5 doing the heavy lifting.
Shit.
It's coming. It's coming. Walls won't stop it. Doors won't stop it. Nothing will. Can't hide from it. It's coming.
That doesn't sound like any of the other ones.
The original game was super linear, but this time around things have opened up a bit, and there's now a centralised hub world in the shape of an all-American style town. Except in the case of Union here, it's an all-American style town where the inhabitants want to peel the skin off your face and lay eggs in your eyes. While a lot of the levels still retain the linear, claustrophobic vibes of the first game, especially in this chase sequence, The hub world is much more open, and by exploring the houses, you'll be able to discover side quest stories and hidden items. When I played this section, it gave me some pretty big Silent Hill and Resi 4 Village vibes, mixed with the more open stealth combat sections from The Last of Us. These areas are a good place to take a breather from the constant panic of being pursued by seemingly invincible monsters, but even then, narrowly avoiding the many twisted creatures that wander the town will give you some true heart-in-the-mouth moments.
What the hell?
Good news, gore fans, The Evil Within 2 doesn't back down on delivering the same extreme body horror that made you retch with joy every time you played the first game. This circular saw-armed abomination from the second chapter of the game was a highlight of creepy character design in the Gamescom demo. It looks like it could be one of several new forms for Laura, who was one of the most memorable monsters from the first game. This icy apparition in one of the side missions found in a house in Union might also be Laura, but she's not as mutated here. Instead, she's got a more creepy J-horror vibe to her design, but she's still as scary as a drunken dentist in a clown costume. I saw loads more monsters during my time with the Gamescom demo, many of whom murdered me in grotesque ways, but unfortunately most of them aren't included in this gameplay footage. The town of Union was full of Haunted, the zombie-like monsters who were the most common enemies from the first game, and there was one memorable scene early on in Chapter 3 where I watched a possessed woman force-feed her son a meal of brains, bone and gristle. As you'd expect, he didn't enjoy it that much, so she smashed his face on the table until his eye socket caved in, and then she chased me around the house and tried to turn my fingers into mini pepperamis, which was quite unsettling, as you can probably imagine. Also not shown in this Gamescom footage are some of the new refinements to The Evil Within 2's gameplay. Sebastian can still find and harvest jars of green goop around the STEM world and use them to upgrade his abilities in Nurse Tatiana's safe haven, but now he's also able to craft weapon upgrades and ammo. This ability is granted after he meets up with a cowardly Mobius technician who's holed up in a safe house in Union. In this safe house, Sebastian can use components he's scavenged from the hub world to craft new items at a workbench, and he can even refill his entire health bar by downing a cup of coffee. Because video games. The technician also upgrades Sebastian's Walkie Talkie so it can track nearby signals, a bit like the scanner in Alien, but with voices instead of movement. This tracker is invaluable in the search for Sebastian's daughter, but it will also alert you to any nearby houses that hold optional side quests, so make sure to use it regularly in Union if you want to make the most of the game. Finally, and you may have already noticed this, but in The Evil Within 2, the developers have gotten rid of that annoying letterbox display from the first game. I'm sure there were plenty of people out there who liked having those annoying black bars across the top and bottom of their screens, and for those funny folks, there's an option in the game settings to turn them back on. By default they don't appear though, but they do pop up when Sebastian has flashbacks to events from the first game, which I think is a very clever touch. So there we go, those were 6 reasons why you should look forward to The Evil Within 2, even if you did hate the first game. Obviously you'll need a strong stomach and a brave heart to make your way through it, but from what I've played, gameplay wise, you'll have a much better experience. Although, scares wise, it'll probably be about the same, and by the same I mean you'll end up curled up in a ball whimpering and crying before you've managed to complete the 5th level. Thanks for watching this look at The Evil Within 2. If you did enjoy this video, please do give it a like. Please do subscribe to Eurogamer for plenty more gameplay videos daily. And also, do have a lovely day. Oh, and don't let nightmare monsters eat your eyes. It really doesn't feel good. Sweet dreams.